Hello besties, today we're going to be making the pot of gold. We're going to be using a 14-ounce stainless steel coffee mug with a handle. We also need an extruder. You can get this at Amazon. I will link it. And also you're going to need all kinds of polymer clay. Now if you want, you can just do white and paint it, or you can also use Culture Sculpt from CCDIY, or you can use the air dry clay. Okay, let the fun begin. Let's get started with lime green. You guys already know that's my favorite color. So we're gonna cut out about 2 little sections and roll them up in a little ball and kind of work them in. Remember, we gotta activate this cream. Holy Spirit, activate. Hey, just kidding, not Holy Spirit. Polymer clay, activate. Anyway, so we're just gonna kind of play with it a little bit, get it nice and soft, and then we're gonna roll it up in a little turd here that will fit into our extruder. If you do not have an extruder, it's okay. You can use your hands to get the same effect. I'm just a little bit lazy, and plus I love getting all kinds of gadgets and tools. Okay, the extruder is very self-explanatory, but I am going to give you guys step by step. Ooh, baby. Oh my gosh, I just aged myself. So anyway, I'm choosing that little donut right there. That's what's going to size my little snake that I'm going to push out of the extruder. So let me unravel it here. And then I'm going to kind of play with my clay and make it into a nice long turd that fits in right in there. And then I'm going to stuff it in there really good, fill it up all the way to the top, then remove the excess, put my little donut thing back on. Kind of reminds me of those Play-Doh toys, you know, back in the day when I was a kid. Anyway, so you put the little donut there and then you screw the top back on. And then you're just gonna screw it out or screw it back in. I don't know. You see what I'm doing. You're just gonna twist, 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 twist until it starts coming out. So you're gonna repeat this process with all your colors. So again, if you do not have an extruder, you can use your hands. Also, to make it even easier, because I'm lazy, you can also buy a little attachment that you can attach to your drill to make things a little bit easier. I will link all these little extra gadgets and tools in the bio, but again, you don't have it, it's okay, use your hands. Ermagerd, I got ahead of myself and I forgot to tell you guys I'm using Sculpty Polymer Clay. I got this at Hobby Lobby, but you can find it pretty much at any craft store. Remember guys, the polymer clay is the kind that needs to be baked. So with that said, make sure your tumbler is bare. Make sure you have no epoxy, glitter, or spray paint on it because it will be going in your oven. So keep that in mind. Look at here, there's my little tool that I was telling you guys about. This makes the extruding process so much easier. So if you got them weak hand muscles, this is what you need, okay? So anyway, I am gonna keep on moving through my colors, creating these little snakes about the same size, but if they're different sizes, it's okay, it's not a big deal. Okay, side note, aren't these colors super vibrant and beautiful? Sculpty has so many different colors to pick from, but if you still cannot find your favorite color, you can always use white and paint it with acrylic paint. Of course, I had to go the non-traditional route for my rainbow, and I went neons. Of course, would I choose anything differently? Absolutely not. So get wild, do what you want to do, pick the colors that you want, and make it your own. Okay, so our last color. Man, my hands are really tired. This is like a long little process, okay? The great thing about polymer clay is that you can leave it and then come back to it. That's what I love about it because one, I need breaks. Two, I got 3 little kids at home that have interrupted me doing this tutorial about 75 bazillion times, or as Lincoln would say, 11 times. So, just keep that in mind because with other clays, you kind of have to start and finish right away. You can't come back to it. With polymer clay, you can make it work. So as you see here, I'm just lining my colors up kind of like I want them here. That's the kind of order I want them, and I'm kind of squishing them together. I am using my little roller here to kind of flatten them out and kind of merge them a little bit together. Not mix them, just kind of merge them. And I'm using my little tweezers to pick out any big chunks of glitter and anything that debris that has gotten stuck on it. I am also kind of just using my little handle to measure around how big I need my rainbow. Now for our white clay. So here I am just kind of working it in my hands. Remember, clay, activate. Oh yeah. Okay, I am so sorry I'm in a singing mood today. But anyway, I am going to be using the white clay as a base for my handle just to kind of give it like a thicker look so we can put our rainbow around it. So I am working it around my handle. So just take your time. It's going to take a while just to get it just right. And then make sure you're smoothing it out so you don't have a big old waves. Something that helps out to smooth out my like nail imprints or fingerprint imprints. Just use some alcohol like on the tip of your fingers and just rub it out till it's nice and smooth. You'll see me doing it shortly. Now for the fun rainbow part. I'm going to smooth it and flatten this out a little bit more. And also, as you see, my tumbler has already been baked and the clay is nice and hardened and cooled off before I do this. So drape over your rainbow strip and smooth out any of the wrinkles. And as you see, it doesn't go all the way around, but I will show you guys in the next step how to complete that. Okay, as you see here, Mr. Glitterballs is over here giving me his opinions. They are welcomed, of course, but I am going to go ahead and give this like a little tail, like a little flare, kind of to make it look like my rainbow is continuous, but you can give it your own little spin, so just kind of play with it, see what you like best. So again, I am going to be smoothing out and filling out my bottom side of my rainbow. As you see here, I am slicing my colors because I'm gonna have to work one at a time. So placing my pink and then moving through all the colors until I reach the other end. This part of the process is probably the hardest. Just kind of working under that handle is kind of hard, but just take your time, smooth it out, use some alcohol to get rid of any of the nail imprints, any of the X-Acto imprints, finger imprints, all those. Just smooth it out, take your time, and move slowly. Okay, now she is baked and ready to glitter. So we're gonna be using my favorite chalk paint, Waverly. You can get it at Walmart. One of my favorite black glitters, Atlanta Nights. One of my favorite brushes from Wet n Wild. And let's go ahead and get started. Let's get this painted. Be careful not to get on your clay. But if you do, like I did, I used a little bit of alcohol and just cleaned it off. It came right off. So I'm using a little brush to get in all those little crevices just to make sure I do not get it on my clay again. So after my paint is dry, I'm gonna go in with some Devil's Glue, aka Mod Podge. Make sure that you give it a nice even coat, keep your streaks at a minimum, and make sure there's no lumps or clumps in your glue. That way you can get the perfect glitter application. So after your first coat of glitter is dry, you want to make sure you fluff out any of the excess before you go in with your second coat. Here I am using some more of this Devil's Glue to give it its second coat. Make sure again you have no clumps or glumps of glue. That way your application on your glitter is flawless. After your second coat of glitter is fully dry, you want to make sure you seal this cup at least once or twice, really good. You don't want any of your black glitter to travel onto that beautiful handle that you've been working on so hard. It's epoxy time. I'm using my favorite fast set from CCDIY, and I'm gonna be using a little additive from Maestra Creations. I mixed 20 mLs total, and here I am adding just a tiny bit. Actually, I'm adding a lot. You really don't need this much, but I am currently obsessed with additive. So I added a little bit more than I needed to, but it's okay. The sparklier, the better. So let's go ahead and epoxy this baby. Look how it's coming to life just with the epoxy. So beautiful. So epoxy it well. Make sure you get under your handle and all the little crevices just to make sure your cup is nice and sealed. And make sure you torch it, okay? Let it spin for a couple minutes, torch it. Let it spin for a couple minutes and torch it one more time. That way you can pop all the bubbles. Look how pretty and shiny this epoxy is. Beautiful. So now we're gonna scuff it up. I know. But it's okay. The sparkle comes back once you re-epoxy it again. You wanna use a sandpaper just to kick off all those little high spots, make your rim and your bottoms nice and smooth. Okay, now that we're done sanding, we are gonna clean it off with some good old H2O and a coffee filter. I prefer coffee filters over paper towels because they don't leave behind lint, so it makes it super clean and dust-free. Now let's apply our decal. I am finding the center of my cup there. I actually had to do this 2 times because it was off-centered. It was driving me nuts. So anyway, I'm just applying my simple decal here with holographic vinyl from Vinyl Fun for Everyone. It is beautiful, it is sparkly, and it looks great with this design. Now it's time to epoxy one more time over our decal, making sure that we seal it really well. I'm going to go ahead and actually epoxy it 2 more times because the last step is our rhinestones, and so we want to make sure our cup is completely done before we move on to that step. Okay, now it's time for some rhinestones. So at this point, your cup should be completely done. And if you want to be done, this is as far as you go. You don't have to do the rhinestoning, but I wanted to give it an extra pizzazz. So I'm going to be using liquid fusion and a pickup pin or a wax pin. And I got some stones from Fabcabcases. I got the 2mm, 3mm, and the 4mm's. So just to have some variety, these are in the neon green. Okay, so let's get started with the rhinestoning. Because these little rhinestones and these little decals are so teeny tiny, I'm gonna go ahead and pour some glue on the back end of my medicine cup. It'll be easier to apply my glue. I'm going to use the little silver tip of my wax pen to apply glue and then put my rhinestone in. This will make it easier. Again, this is just a little extra. If you wanted to, you can leave it as is and it looks beautiful, but I just, you know your bestie. I'm a little extra AF. What do you think of these gold rhinestones? When I saw them at Hobby Lobby, I'm like, oh my gosh, they look like gold coins. I have to have them for my pot of gold. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place them along my rim very sporadically. I don't want them to look like a drip. I want it to look like they're overflowing from my pot of gold. So I'm gonna use the same technique, placing my glue and placing them one at a time, just kind of randomly, just where I like them. So again, this is totally extra. If you want to stop before this step, your cup can be completed and it looks amazing. But you know me, I gotta bling it up, I gotta do the mostest. So here's my pot of gold. Here she is, besties. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed making it. I cannot wait to see your own spin on this. Make sure to tag us at hashtag MMBestiesX. That way we can see your amazing creations that we've inspired you to do.